Hey guys, you here, right here, yeah, G unit. Welcome to my favorite class setup with a Peacekeeper, which definitely suits my playstyle. I'm not saying this will be useful for all of you, but for those of you with a similar playstyle to mine, this will be definitely the most comfortable class setup to use while you're rushing. So, of course, I wanted to use foregrip with fast mag for the attachments, and the perks being lightweight, flak jacket, and toughness with dexterity and tactical miles with perk 1 and perk 3 wildcards. Now, I don't know, for some reason, you don't really need to use Scavenger, obviously, because majority of the people that you play against seems to be using this weapon quite a lot. Obviously, recently came out on PlayStation 3, I'm not too sure on Xbox 360. But anyway, you can mess around with the Scavenger's toughness when you feel like that is necessary to do so. Let's get right into the gameplay with this class setup here. So in case you guys haven't figured out already, this is another one of my informative videos that I like to make from Black Ops 2, where I sort of post on my channel every now and then, but not too frequently, where I sort of provide you as much information as possible to sort of make you guys a better player than you already are, in a sense, you know, improving your gaming experience as a whole. And this is something that I don't usually do frequently, simply because it's not something that I would think that you guys would find interesting or entertaining as video content on YouTube. But of course, your feedback is definitely crucial in that sense. If you want to see more informative videos like this based on Call of Duty Black Ops 2, then feel free to let me know in the comments below, and of course leave this video a like rating to definitely indicate for me that you guys want to see more. Because, you know, every now and then, like, if you saw my tips and tricks, sort of, not tips and tricks, but that term definitely is sort of something that wouldn't make sense for me on Call of Duty. But I have titled my videos like that. But if you saw my, you know, free-for-all paths and whatnot, which, you know, I can still continue doing if you want me to, and I can do that for the rest of the maps that is available from the playlist. As we know, there's a couple new maps. A few more, obviously, few new maps that I haven't done yet from the DLC and raid itself as well, which has been recently added into the playlist. But anyway, we're going off tangent here, and I don't want to do that because we're going to be talking about this video in specific about the Peacekeeper class here. And the whole point of me showcasing this gameplay in the first place is to sort of back up the idea and the sort of thought process that I put into making the class itself. And this would make sense because, you know, I need to always justify the statements that I make, and the gameplay makes it easier for that. You know, some people would say, why would you use this, why would you use that? And the gameplay itself would obviously answer some of the questions. But if that would not be the case, I would like to talk about it over the video itself, but doing a commentary like this. So here's the thing about a pick 10 system, right? You're limited to 10 things that you could pick for your class to bring you guys the appropriate combination and the, you know, sort of alternative options that you're going to have to bring you the perks and attachments for your class. And you would think that, you know, 10 things is perfect, right? The pick 10 system is amazing for this. However, when it comes to reality and you're actually making a class, and you sometimes feel like, oh my god, I want to put this instead of that and this and that, you know, and sort of want to mix things up, but you really can't, because you actually, when you don't realize it, but you're sort of limited, you know, you've reached your limit already, and you're sort of like, what the, I've already used up 10 things. And so there's certain things that I need to sacrifice over another. And that could be said for perks and attachments, or lethals, or tacticals, or wildcards, and everything counts towards the pick 10 system. And this is where the complicated bit comes to, you know, making the appropriate class for your playstyle. And everybody's got their own little thing, you know. Some people like to use C4s when rushing, which is understandable, but for me, I don't personally like it. You know, I don't want to have to rely on lethal to get kills for me. I'd rather go into a gunfight and win it, you know. So that's the sort of attitude I have to my sort of perspective of playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which most people don't have, you know. So a lot of the people that I see on YouTube tend to use C4s, and that's understandable. But then again, you have to sacrifice something for that C4 because you're limited to 10 items. And that's the reason why I relate this to the pick 10 system, because it's really, really important to create that appropriate class. And when it comes to this Peacekeeper, ending up having to use foregrip and fast mags was definitely the case for me. But people would say that why wouldn't you use quick draw instead? And the simple reason for why I would not use quick draw is, once again, looking back at the playstyle, right? As a player myself who likes to rush about a lot, I run around all the time, I'm pretty much sprinting around all the time as well. And what dexterity does is that, you know, what it states and what it exactly does is when after you sprint, you aim in faster. So when you aim faster, that's pretty much the same thing as quick draw. But obviously quick draw is much better than dexterity. But then again, pretty much dexterity does some of that anyway. So that's not really necessary for me personally, for my playstyle. So as I said, you know, this is something that is based solely on your playstyle, and certain things that you decide to make will obviously be based on that. So it's really important when you make a class, you got to think like, okay, so are you the sort of player that likes to sprint around a lot? If so, put on dexterity, don't worry about putting on quick draw. So that's sort of alternative options you've got. And so with that being said, you save yourself attachment, and that's the reason why I would use foregrip instead, because I feel like this weapon's got a lot of recoil without foregrip, and I feel that's much easier for me to get long range shots with foregrip, and that's one of the reasons why I use it. So yeah, I mean, for some people I suppose quick draw would be a must, because you probably sort of play defensively, and that's understandable. You know, you may not sprint around like me all the time, and that's completely understandable because, you know, people have their own playstyle. So yeah, that's quick draw. And we got like stock as well. People like to use stock and whatnot, which is another thing which people, for those of you that love to ADS a lot, if you're turning around corners, some people have the habit of ADSing around corners, which is you know, usually the case of you know, always having an upper hand in gunfights most of the time. Hopefully, if you're not hit hard by lags, then yeah, then you should obviously win the gunfight. And when you have stock, you're gonna move faster, obviously, around the corner, and therefore, you know, I guess you can have that if you want, but then again, it's not for me and my playstyle, because I'm pretty much running about all the time, and I only ADS when I see a player. That's the way I sort of take things into account. I'll ADS when needed to. Obviously, if the player is right next to me, in front of me, I would hit fire, as you just saw. So it really is situational when it comes to gunfights. And I really do hope this class setup does work. It may be obvious for some of you out there that do play like me, so you don't have to worry about that. But some of you did want to see a gameplay from the Peacekeeper with the appropriate class that I enjoy using this weapon with. I did say I don't particularly like using this weapon from the previous gameplay from Peacekeeper, but you know, as I said, this is something that I sort of want to force myself into using and sort of make myself comfortable in using, and the only sort of solution I've come up with is this class setup here. So for those of you that feel that this would sort of help you out, definitely let me know if it did, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon. Check it out. Sign out. Good night. Peace. Yeah.